I'm Jo-Dee.
I'm Graham. Hi, I've had a haircut since you last saw me. I asked them to cut the grey out. Look what's happened. They've hardly left any of it left.
Ah, that's what you think. From a closer look, you can actually see it all.
No, thank you very much indeed. So this week we're looking at vegan food and how you can sort of gradually move towards becoming a vegan without doing it just overnight, just like that.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll have something in there for my hair loss and or greying.
I think you look stunning. Don't worry about it. But we are speaking to Anna Anderson today, all about becoming vegan or plant-based, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got some recipes for you. So if you subscribe below, remember to like the video, put the bell on so you get notified.
Drop us an email and then we will we'll point you to those recipes.
And it's a whole week's worth of recipes. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, great. It's really good and something I might do myself. Although the effect that baked beans has on me, it might not be a good week for you to be around me.
We'll do those interviews by Zoom.
Okay, fine.
Zoomies!
Cool. Okay. So without further ado then, over to Anna.
Yay!
I'm recording.
Hi, I'm Jo-Dee.
Oh, I'm Graham, but I'm behind the camera.
Yes. Today we put him behind the camera. Best place for him to be. And we're here with Anna Anderson today.
Hello.
Yay! And we are actually celebrating Vegan Cuisine Month this month. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that. So
You
thank
see?
you. I know, I had no idea. Wow.
So that's why we wanted to talk to you, because it is a big thing at the moment. Everyone talking about being vegan and all this. So you're the expert on this.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what it is that you do.
Okay, I'm a health coach and a life coach, and I combine those two things I work with women and I help them get out of the dieting cycle so that they can break free and learn how to eat a healthy way and take great care of their body rather than worrying about body image, but actually feel full of energy and vitality from the inside out.
And who's this?
This is Hero.
Hero! There we go. Hero's with us today to give us some tips and some love. I think that's important too.
Well, he's a big meat eater. So.
Oh, is it? Going against everything.
Yes.
So, have you got 5 points for us just to tell us about some tips about being vegan?
Yeah, I was thinking about, making that transition from eating meat or dairy to moving over. It's quite a big step and it can be really, really overwhelming, right? So I think the first step is changing a mindset and then shifting from that thought process of thinking that we need to eat meat and dairy to be healthy. And I think that's so ingrained in us that, it's really traditional, isn't it, to have meat and 2 veg and that's what we eat. And it feels like, I hear from so many people, yeah, but I'm going to be hungry all the time. Do you only eat salad? Like, what do you eat? And so, knowing that actually you don't have to be hungry, you can eat plenty of foods and that it doesn't have to be overwhelming is the first point, just to have that mindset shift of making that transition.
That is really good because for me, I'm South African. We eat a lot of meat.
Right.
So you got a lot of work to do on me. But for me, if I don't eat meat, I feel that I haven't eaten. That's like literally how I feel. And I go, oh no, I need to have my protein.
Yeah.
That's so silly.
No, it's not silly. It's a big thing. And I think that's the first point. It's actually making that shift between feeling like we need meat to have a complete meal. And that's a change. That's the transition for sure.
Yeah. So, well, that's good. So, anything else you can give us a tip on? How about the number?
The next one, number 2, is outcrowding or crowding out. So I am all about not creating complete restriction and just feeling like you're changing everything all at once because you're not going to stick to it. And I'm a big believer in getting rid of guilt and shame connected to food, which is this big thing that I work with with women on the dieting regime and then feeling guilty because we ate the wrong thing and all of that. So making small steps and it might be that you have 1 day a week that is plant-based, that you're not eating dairy and you're not eating meat, or it might be that you introduce 2 or 3 days, but slowly introducing new recipes, new foods into your diet so you're not feeling like all of a sudden you can't eat anything. And I think that's so important.
I feel like that because I'm always I started off as a dancer,
right.
so I was always on diet, and then put on weight and then always tried these diets, and then it's a feeling of not knowing what to do. And then me with my medical condition, I'm not allowed to eat certain things, so I get to the supermarket and I'm like, I don't know what to buy, and then I go, oh, I just won't eat, or I won't buy anything now, and then I eat junk.
Yeah. And this is the thing, and this leads actually really nicely into my third point, that if we're hungry, we release a hormone called ghrelin, and that says, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So when we're dieting and restricting calories and reducing the amount that we eat, actually that shifts our metabolism and slows it down and makes us put on weight and think about food all the time. So for anyone that's ever been on a diet, that's what's going on. And so that's why they don't work. And so what we want to do is balance blood sugar. And if you're hungry, you're much more likely to make bad food choices, because your body's like, I want something carbohydrates-y, right? I want sugar, I want white bread, I want all of those things, because it's the fastest thing to give us energy. So my next tip is, don't get hungry, but keep yourself full. So when you're eating plant-based, it's about eating complex carbohydrates, and that's so important. So making shifts from white rice to brown rice, or introducing beans and lentils. I'm a massive fan of this study called the Blue Zones. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
But they've studied pockets of people around the world that live longer, and what they do. So there's a community in California who are 7-day Adventists. There's a community in Okinawa in Japan, in Ikaria in Greece.
Wow.
And there are these small pockets of people where it's really, really normal to have centenarians, where they live to 100. They're not dying of cancer or heart disease or any of the Western diseases that we're experiencing so much now. And they just pass away in their sleep. And it's like, what are they doing differently?
Yeah.
And there are lots of things, and some of the things are outside of food related. So, having relationships and not feeling lonely, because actually that's a huge factor of our health and our well-being.
Yes.
But that's a whole different conversation. And what they're also eating is a lot of beans, a lot of legumes. They're not completely plant-based eaters, but they primarily are. So they're eating a very small amount of meat and a very small amount of dairy. And the meat and the dairy that they are eating is grass-fed and locally sourced, so it hasn't got all the chemicals and the stuff in it that we now are exposed to. So, sourcing of food is really important. But going back to my third point, it's about eating fibre. It's about eating beans. So introducing legumes, black beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, all of these kinds of pulses into our diet is really important from a fibre perspective. 80% of people in the UK are not eating enough fibre. We need to be eating 30 grams a day, and 80% of people are not eating enough. And that is a massive contribution to an increased rise in colon cancer, because we're not pushing through or keeping clear our intestines. So it's really important, whether or not you're making a choice to go plant-based completely or slowly, introducing more fibre for sure on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I like it that you're saying not to just give up and to introduce.
We've got to be happy, right? If you feel like everything's been ripped away from you, our brain doesn't like that. It moves towards pleasure and away from pain. So if you feel like you've been restricted and you can't have anything, you're not going to be happy. So I think making incremental changes is a much, much more sensible thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good. So where are we at? 4.
Yeah, I think so. So that my fourth one, is it right? 4?
I think it's 4.
I think I might have 6. I might be cheeky.
Oh, that's okay.
Is that just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's healthy. So I'm a big believer in this whole vegan push, and that it's becoming so popular and veganary, and it's clearly Vegan Month. I didn't know about that. But there is a difference between vegan and plant-based eating, and I think that's really important to know, that people are moving towards, well, it's vegan, so it's fine. So I can eat vegan cheese, or I can eat vegan this, or I can eat the vegan, I think Greg's now do a vegan sausage roll, so it's fine, it's healthy. And that's not necessarily true. So obviously there are plenty of reasons to move to a vegan or plant-based diet, from the environmental perspective, from your health perspective, and the impact that it has on animals, sort of, obviously. But if it's for a health reason, then it's important to find the difference between plant-based eating and vegan eating. Vegan eating is including sugars, including crisps, chips, all of those things that are not healthy, but they don't have meat or dairy. Whereas plant-based eating is whole foods that have been not messed around with, not processed, and are good for us. So, I'm all about actually introducing whole foods into your diet more than moving to a vegan diet, because actually you're making better health choices.
Yeah, it's true, because I've had a few friends that have gone through fads, being vegetarian, then going vegan and all of this. And then the things that I see them eat, and I'm like, I'm sure that's not very good for you.
Yeah.
And then they don't necessarily lose weight, and I see them putting on weight, and
some of the replacements are actually really not good.
No.
There's lots of meat replacements, lots of soy things, and they're heavily processed, and we want to move away from a heavily processed diet. That's what's best for your body. So it needs to look at the intention behind what you're doing, and making sure you're making good decisions for your health, rather than decisions to move to a vegan diet, if that's your preference, right? If it's about being vegan because from animal welfare point of view, then go for it. But from a health perspective,
from a health, no, definitely, because I think there's lots of reasons why people do go vegan. I think
it's really personal.
It is. I love animals and all that, but I think it's my upbringing. Like you were saying, it's just I've been taught to eat meat, and that's.
You have. Yeah. I've worked with a few South African people, and it's really tough for them. Such a mental shift.
It is.
I mean, you have meat on the braai, right?
Well, it's crazy. So so I think now we get to number 5 already.
5. So point number 5 is plan ahead and bulk cook. Okay. So healthy eating, or eating at home, cooking at home, is going out the window with the modern day pressures. We're so busy, and connected to that, health is getting worse and worse. Our NHS is breaking at the seams, and people are really struggling. Cancers and heart disease are going up and up and up, and we kind of let food go to the bottom of the list because we're so busy, and we're living in a modern world where there is food available that we can go and buy, and it's already done. Actually, cooking at home is such an important, healthy thing to do.
I think so.
And I'm a big believer in putting it back at the top of the list, because when our health is at the top of the list and we're taking care of ourselves, then actually we've got more energy, we can work better, we can think more clearly, all of those things.
Yeah.
So I think it's about prioritization and putting health first, and then planning for that. So sitting down on a Sunday and thinking, right, what am I cooking for the week ahead? And what do I need to do? Getting a food delivery in, making it as easy as possible, so you're not always on the back foot thinking, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Because again, when we're hungry and we're in a rush, we're not going to make good choices, right? So that's a big thing. And I'm a massive fan of bulk cooking. So on a Sunday, if you've got time, making up some soups, making up some some dals or some curries, or things that you can have through the week, so that you can come home and you've got food available.
Yeah, and I think with us being so busy nowadays, I mean, I know because of my energy levels, if I've gone out in the day, I'll come back and have a long nap, and then I don't want to cook, and then that's
exactly
so that I do sometimes pre-cook things, and then I can just go microwave it.
Yeah, exactly. You keep it in the freezer, you've got it, and then you're much more likely to make a healthy choice that you've made.
And I know Graham is so grumpy if he doesn't eat properly. You are!
Aren't we all? We all are.
We all are.
Okay, so 5? Are we on 5 or 6?
We're on 5?
5.
We can...
Yeah?
Oh, we're going to 6 now.
I don't know. Anyway.
The next point
is making sure that you're covering your bases. So one of the reasons that we feel, or we've been taught, that we should be eating meat and dairy is for calcium and protein, right? So it's like, well, I have to have those things because I need to have those. And actually that was a brilliant piece of marketing that was done in the 50s by the dairy and the meat industries, to say that we have to have those things. They did brilliantly, and they introduced it to children, because if they had children that were going to be drinking milk for their whole lives, then they've got repeated business, right? So it was a great job. But I think we're starting to wake up to this a little bit more now, and become aware that actually that isn't the right thing. Milk is incredibly damaging for our health. And meat, again, it's personal choice, and I'm a big believer in biodiversity and actually making choice that feels good for you. We all have different bodies, but reducing saturated fat, which is in dairy and in meat, as much as possible. But so then what do you do for your calcium and what do you do for your protein? Yeah. So it's important to cover those bases. So protein can be found in all sorts of plant-based food. And if you think about the biggest land animals like elephants and gorillas and wildebeest, they eat grass.
Yes.
Right? So they don't need... They're veggie. You don't need to have meat, the middle animal, to be a big, strong person and have your muscles. You don't need that. So I think that's a piece of education. You know, again, it goes back to changing our mindset. It's like, really? Yeah. And that's a big shift. So we can get our protein from lentils, all of our vegetables, you know, they all have protein in them. And that's really important to know. Yeah.
Does that mean you have to bulk up?
Not necessarily, you know, eat until you're full, for sure. But tofu, soya products, lentils, all of the legumes all have a lot of protein in. Actually, sometimes more than meat, without the saturated fat. Calcium, again, from green vegetables, from legumes, from beans and all of those things. Again, so you can get sources of calcium which are higher than dairy and from your plant-based eating. One thing that I do as well with the clients that I work with, we test their blood to begin with. So we check what's going on inside. And I consistently see a B12 deficiency, whether they've been eating meat or not. So that's a really common deficiency because B12 is a mineral found in the soil, and we've now over-farmed our soil so much that we're really limited on that. So it's really important, and I highly recommend to all of your viewers, whether they are moving to a vegan diet or they're just eating a normal diet. I think vegan's normal anyway, but anyway,
it's going normal. It's going that way.
The supplementing B12 is probably a really important thing to do, you know, and it might be worth getting their blood checked and just checking in on that because it is really common deficiency now, and it can, you know, have all sorts of impact on our mental health, how we feel, our mood. So it's important to cover. I also see a really high deficiency in vitamin D living in the UK in the winter. So that's not a big one related. But I wanted to cover that in, because it is important to supplement. So if you, whatever your diet, and if you move to a plant-based diet, you're more likely to be covering more of the bases, because I think a common fear is I'm not going to be getting the nutrients that I need, but actually you're probably going to be getting more. So, you know, people that I'm teaching to are eating 15 to 20 fruits and vegetables a day, whereas that's not happening exactly. So that's not happening in most eaters. That fibre is so important. So we're covering more minerals, but it's important to know the ones that you need to cover. Also getting your right fats. So fat's been, you know, taught that it's a really bad thing, but it's just not the case. It's really important. I think
it's the right fats, right?
The right fats, that's exactly right. So we want to move away from saturated fats, which are in animal products, towards unsaturated fats, monosaturated and polysaturated. So they are in things like flaxseed oil. And so ground flaxseed on your oats in the morning is a really powerful thing to do, or having a spoonful of flaxseed oil. And avocados as well, and nuts and seeds, and introducing those to your diet. So even if you're going to continue eating meat and dairy, you know, adding things in and coming back to that crowding out, you know, so you're filling up on the good stuff. That's good. Is a really, really good thing to do.
Interesting. So I think the most important thing to start off with is a diary, or prepare, like you said.
What do you want to achieve and why are you doing it, I guess, are the important questions. And then, you know, is it 1 day a week? Is it 2 days? What are you going to do? And then finding some really interesting recipes. There are so many available online now where you can just, you know, think, oh, that looks really, really nice. I'm going to try that instead of something that I might have traditionally made.
Yeah, and it is true. Just change one and then get used to that. It's like me when I stopped having sugar in my coffee.
Right.
Sorry, I drink coffee. But I was trying to cut down my sugar, and I was like, oh, there's no way I can do it. And I went from 2 spoons to 1 spoon, and then now I don't have any. It just takes that
slowly
getting used to it.
Whereas if you'd done it all at once, you wouldn't have probably stuck to it, right? It's less likely.
True. So I think that's good. Right, any more? Or because you could talk all day, it looks like.
I really could talk all day. I think that's it for now.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for talking to us today. And don't forget to subscribe and like our video, because who knows, somebody might need this help. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was great talking to Anna, and we had Graham giving his little comments from behind. No, actually, you're quite quiet.
I was quite quiet. I was very good. I tried to hold the camera still and to make sure that we got all the things that you and Anna were saying, so I did my best.
Well done.
A couple of little shakes, I think, but hopefully the audience didn't notice.
No, I think you did great. So now remember to please share these videos. Remember to subscribe and like. Thank you very much. And
well, in this particular week, I think we'd like you to share it with anybody that you know who's vegan or being vegetarian, who wants to become vegan. I was talking to one actually just this week who is now starting and doing pretty much what Anna said, starting to move from vegetarian to vegan, but doing it in slow, steady changes. Yeah, just doing small steps each day. And she had a kale salad. Apparently kale is quite tough and she'd have preferred the lettuce. So there are some exciting things out there if you want to give them a try.
Yeah, let us know if you're going to try as well, and comment and let us know if you've tried it or what you liked, what you didn't like. And let's see.
Yeah, so it's great. So I'm off my steak and chips. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.